if TL can continue their climb back towards the top. EG has had a bit of a rough go of it, not the start that they did want. Of course, they have been in a lot of good positions within those games. They just haven't always been able to close out with those leads, largely because of a lot of individual errors.
Yeah.
TL, a team that is always really good at honestly kind of capitalizing on mistakes when you make them. They've had more of a kind of slow and steady play style over the last couple of years, and they like to bide their time, wait for you to mess up, and really pounce on that and create their advantages there.
And of course, EG did find their first win yesterday here in Week 2. Week number 1 did have 3 of those games where they had pretty sizable leads and then lost them, but now they've shown us they can translate those leads into wins. They want to do it again here against one of the big top dogs in Team Liquid. Let's see how it works. It's Renekton, Lee Sin, Thresh, Udyr, all banned away.
Okay.
Both Viego and Gwen are still available. I would have to think that,
a lot of OPs.
yeah, there's a lot of OPs still up there. With Renekton banned away, I would have to think it's a Gwen ban here. It is not. Gwen is open.
Yeah, I think it's the trade, right? You're making the call on the red side that, okay, you get one OP, but we've left multiple open. If they take Rumble,
too.
you could go Gwen and Varus here and get 2 like permaban champions in your first round on red side. I would love to see it. I'm not sure if they want to go that route or if they're going to be looking for something else, but a lot of the kind of protect your carry style champions have been banned out. I do think Varus can pair well with things like the Thresh, things even along the lines of the TK. Would be surprised that you see the Kali kind of just slap down.
It's there.
All right.
They're throwing down the gauntlet. This champion has had some pop-off performances so far, and they're saying, hey, we can do the same thing. And we're not going to get the Gwen or the Varus potentially here. Might just go for a very early lock-in on the Xin Zhao here for the jungle.
And that is kind of crazy if it actually falls through. Yeah, that would be really surprising.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got to be pretty confident in what you're going to bring out into it if you're not going to pick the Gwen yourself. So they're not going to pick it. Maybe they're saying, TL, you're not willing to go Gwen if you don't think Jenkins can play it, or if you think that TL will end up overloaded on magic damage, right? Because you've already got Rumble. If you go Gwen, you for sure need to have mid lane play an AD champion, so maybe a bit of a read there. We'll see if TL will go for it, but I would be shocked to see both those champions just completely fall through. Okay. It will potentially be a Gwen mid you could go for if you have GP top. I still think that can work. Whether or not Jensen has been actually playing this and practicing it, we haven't seen a lot of Gwen mid. Has been almost exclusively top, pretty much a lot of the Ignite TP style. Very interesting. It's like such a deprioritization on some of the champions that have been permabanned.
Yeah, we have, now of course, this does work out pretty well in terms of the damage typing here for Team Liquid. You have an AP jungler with 2 powerful, high damage AD solo laners. But now, let's see what the response from EG is going to be. It's the Ezreal hover and the Ezreal lock-in.
All right, no one cares about Varus. No one cares about Gwen. Forget those champs. They suck. We'll see if they get banned out here in the second phase or if it's just going to go untouched throughout. Ezreal, very high prio here. With that pick, I am curious to see if EG will be banning away some of the other competing marksmen that they might be concerned about. You know, if you're looking at this composition, you're thinking that TL likely want to pair it with Dive. Kalista makes sense as a ban. I also think that Kai'Sa could be a good ban if you want to take away some of these diving marksmen. Of course, Tristana is still available, so maybe you target the support pool instead of the actual marksman here. We'll see what TL is concerned about because it is blind Viego. We don't know if it's going to be Impact playing the Akali top or if that will be down in the mid lane.
True.
They're making the read that it is going to be mid lane and banning away Gnar, which is a good matchup into GP. A lot of the range matchups are things that GP can struggle to deal with because you don't just get those free Q trades. You can actually hit back when he steps forward for a Q. You can kill off a lot of those barrels in the early game, and that can make things pretty difficult for GP.
And honestly, I like putting Jizuke on a champion like Akali because she has what I call protagonist energy, where she has an outplay button for anything
the main character.
She has plot armor. There are so many ways for this champion to get out of whatever the enemy team wants her to get into. And for Jizuke, a player that looks both his best and his worst when he's playing incredibly aggressively, giving him those tools, giving him that outplay, I think it lets him shine.
I liked your argument up until you said that playing aggressively also is when he's his worst.
I mean, We saw the Lee Sin play yesterday underneath the Tier 2 turret, my friend.
You're like, just let him go crazy. He's terrible when he's in.
Jizuke giveth and Jizuke taketh, but on a champion like Akali, how you gonna take it when she's in the smoke screen with 4 dashes and a stopwatch?
He's invisible.
It don't happen.
I see you. I like it. I mean, I really enjoy watching Jizuke. As much as people do like to kind of meme on him, he is a player that really pushes advantages incredibly well. He does have a tendency to make mistakes, and that can sometimes give away those advantages. But when he is at his best, he really is incredible. Aatrox versus Moore would be a huge throwback. Of course, we're not going to get that as GP was already locked in.
Yeah.
The Aatrox here for Impact, one of the champions, they were actually mentioning him being really good at on the desk. This is something that he's played for a long time. Kai'Sa left open, feels pretty obvious. The Nautilus was there, but they want to go to the Leona. If you're thinking that Ignar may go for one or the other, Leona does have an advantageous matchup into the Nautilus. It's very easy when Nautilus is going forward. You just then play it onto him. You're tankier with your W pop, and you can kind of go support on support and win those types of matchups. Blitzcrank would be a pretty big curveball here, but not going to get to see it. It will be the Alistar, so some good engage here. Again, all about these short-range compositions. 4 melee versus 4 melee. You already know it's going to be a brawl here. I do think it can be difficult for EG to pile forward into the potential GP ultimate, into the equalizer. They're going to have to be very careful about your spacing, because when you're playing these short-range compositions, you have a tendency to group up, you have a tendency to converge on one target, which makes you susceptible to some of these AoE ultis. But that being said, they've got some really powerful early game here. Xin is a beast in the early game jungle. They have the ability to find flanks with the Aatrox, with the Akali. Obviously, Ezreal can stay safe and enable Ignar to roam, which is kind of what he wants to do anyway.
Yeah, and I want to see these top laners pop off on these champions, because I double-checked it with our lovely people behind the scenes. This is the first game of this split here in the first couple weeks of LCS Summer play where Gwen was not picked or banned. She had 100% pick ban up until this point. This is the first time we're seeing her slip entirely through the draft. So obviously the Gangplank and the Aatrox, both teams aren't just picking these randomly because that S tier is still there. They're saying, hey, this fits. This is what our player is going to get the win with.
Yeah, it's really interesting, especially because, GP was just kind of slapped down, and they could have actually picked Gwen into it, which is a matchup I believe that a lot of people really do like. We've seen, TP Ignite used, but deprioritizing that champion, so you kind of got to prove that you can make it work on some of these other champions. Of course, the Aatrox has been so good for Impact over the years, and the GP has been pretty nasty for Jenkins. He was having some really nice barrel chains in team fights yesterday. I've been very impressed, particularly by him on this champion. Not only his laning, but his team fighting. They've both been good.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and take stock of everything here. Both our supports are running Ignite this time around. It's a heal for Tactical, but a cleanse for Danny, as AD carries often have to do against a Leona. Santorin with the Dark Harvest on the Rumble. Sometimes we see something like a Conqueror. Sometimes we'll see some other options, but this is just the more upfront damage. As Jenkins will have that tried and true Grasp of the Undying for the Gangplank. Everything else is normal. Teleports are going to match across all the solo laners.
I will say I'm really happy that we're getting some variance in jungle itemization as well as the rune setups, because when you think back, it was like phase rush and chem tank. That's what you go. How about this? Phase rush and chem tank. How about that? Phase rush and chem tank. And now we are getting some variance here. They're looking for a potential level 1 play.
And they're diving in onto Ignar, but he immediately stops it there with a Pulverize. They shouldn't be able to pursue much further. And in case you missed it, popped up there on your screen, remember that the free ProView matchup for this game is Jensen versus Jizuke. That should be a very fun one to see, especially in the Viego versus Akali matchup. So if you want to see how they're piloting these champs in particular, try to take it into solo queue and not end up losing all your own LP, go ahead and give that one a look, as we're taking a look at where the junglers start. And for both teams, it is a bottom side start. Svenskeren on his own blue buff, while you can see Santorin over there on the red.
Yeah, so I'm going to be really interested to see where Svenskeren goes as far as the builds do go. It feels like there's a lot of options. We've seen actually full tank. We've seen, Gore Drinker. We've seen Shield Bow. You can even see things like Eclipse. There's a lot of options here. Divine Sunderer. So you can go for different styles, I think, depending on how the game is going, depending on how the matchups are. And when you are seeing Dark Harvest, it's less likely to be kind of going for the sustained mythics and more likely to be looking towards Burst of the Night Harvester. So that's kind of what I'm expecting from Santorin, but will be fun to see.
Okay. CoreJJ going in yet again. Finds the Zenith Blade onto Ignar, but Tactical takes a couple shots here on the back end of that one. So relatively even trade. CoreJJ is just never willing to stop. The man always loves playing support aggressively.
Yeah, Danny just face checks that, takes quite a bit of damage, and actually misses the Q, I think thinking that CoreJJ would kite back. So, good early levels here from Tactical as well as CoreJJ, something you would expect from one of the premier LCS bot lanes.
Oh, absolutely.
Shizuke getting shoved in here. We'll see how he can match up against Jensen. Jensen did bring out the Viego the other day, looked fine. It was kind of not like a really flashy game. In the last matchup, I believe he did go for that kind of shield bow tank style, which we've seen a lot of mid laners really enjoy. So whether or not that will be the case in this game remains to be seen, but I think it's really effective in these really kind of heavy brawl type comps. When it's just 4 melee smashing their face into each other, then just being disruptive with shield bow and Randuins can be so powerful and allow you to have that durability to get your first reset. If someone dies off, you jump into their champ, you get the frames of immunity. Can be really, really tough for the opponents to deal with.
And that's what it feels like so many team fights with Viego come down to, is he better die before he gets that first iframe reset, or all of a sudden it's just time to leave, right? The power of those resets, it's not even so much just being able to steal the enemy kit as much as it is the aggro drop with the ulti reset. Gives him a ton of outplay potential in these skirmishes. As you can see, junglers are both hanging around here, but the important difference between these junglers is Santorin got both Scuttle Crabs. Let's see if Svenskeren wants to go in here. Yes, he does. And it's Jizuke at about 350 HP. He's got to walk this one off. Wind becomes lightning as Jensen takes a bit more damage here, but the third hit will not come through for the knockout.
Yeah, CoreJJ on the roam. Ignar is matching because Jizuke is so low. TL wants to push him off and not allow him to farm this wave, but he should be able to get it with the additional protection of his teammates around here. And that ward from TL was actually really big. That Raptor ward that was briefly on the screen there is kind of what was tracking Svenskeren. So they wanted to look for a gank. You could actually see the ping assist coming through from Jizuke, but with him warded out, all Jensen had to do was play towards the bot side where he knows his Rumble is waiting, where he knows he's going to have the backup, and EG really not able to get anything done there.
Yep, no kills on the board here just yet. Team Liquid, the ones who have that very slight gold lead thanks to the farm advantages they've built for themselves. And just by the nature of Gangplank being Gangplank, right, he's naturally going to just have a little bit of extra gold because of the parlay mechanics and how that works out. Up here in the top lane, though, the Gangplank trading pattern is pretty simple during lane. Bop the minion, wait for the green thing to show up on your hand, shoot the guy with the gun.
Exactly. It's pretty straightforward stuff there, and Impact just trying to fully reset the wave. I can't quite see if he got it all the way in. If he did not, that can be awkward. And yeah, he didn't. So now you're stuck in the situation where it starts to get awkward, right? Because Jenkins wants to hold the wave right around here, and Impact wants to get a full reset to actually be able to base and get his buy off. Because Jenkins went for an early base off of the push. GP has an insanely strong level 1 with Trial by Fire as well as the Qs.
Well, you can see a little bit more of that damage coming in now. He doesn't want to go all the way forward. No flash auto attack for the Trial by Fire. Not quite low enough for that one, but Santorin now with the opportunity to grab the first Drake here for the side of Team Liquid before we even hit 6 minutes on the clock, and honestly, nobody from Evil Genius is even in the neighborhood.
I mean, he also got double scuttle to start it off, right? Because TL did have the pressure in these lanes. We saw them skirmishing heavily on the bottom side. They won out there. Jensen had the push in mid. The early push also went to Jenkins. So TL had 3 pushing lanes. As a jungler, that's a dream. You pretty much get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Svenskeren, though, up towards this top side. If Jenkins steps forward, he could be in trouble here.
Jenkins just now hitting level 6, which could be what dissuades them from going for a full-on dive here. Svenskeren eating a lot of damage as the Trial by Fire plus the parlay takes him below half.
Yeah, looked like he might have taken a tower shot there as well. Impact trying to bait out the barrel and dodge back, not quite quick enough to do so. And Santorin now clearing up towards this top side. Maybe closing in on 6 because he does have double scuttle, and I'm seeing Zin's XP. He's 5.5, so he should be ahead of that pace. And if he hits 6, then all of a sudden Impact could definitely be in danger. He is in fact 6, so with Jenkins up here, you have Rumble ulti, you have GP ulti. If you overpush and you just get slowed down by the GP ulti, Rumble comes in, drops the equalizer, things can get a little bit dicey. But not going to happen for now, as we do know that Santorin is clearing back towards this bottom side, wants to maintain the scuttle dominance here. And Svenskeren not really going to have an opportunity, I think, to challenge for this, as the reset from TL's bot lane is coming out a lot faster. So 3 straight scuttles, the early dragon, everything as far as the jungle is concerned is going the way of Santorin.
Plus, I mean, with those tier 2 boots as his first purchase, if Svenskeren goes anywhere near him and it's not a fight where he chases him away, he's just going to get run down by the Electro Harpoons and the extra move speed. CoreJJ with a flash in for the Zenith Blade ends up getting the flash back out of Jizuke, who is not a happy bee about that one, just lets him know that he does not appreciate those sorts of roams. Ignar wants to try to clear out some of the vision from Team Liquid. CoreJJ has Santorin right behind him. Svenskeren now with his own ulti means that they will be on much more equal ground if these junglers get into a fight. Jizuke back here in the mid lane does have the Leeching Leer in inventory, so a little bit of extra sustain there against Viego, who already has so much built into his kit. And the top laners continue just trading blows back and forth. Nobody's really building a commanding lead anywhere on the map so far. We've seen some rotations, some roams out of both sides, but nobody's really found that magic moment.
No, not yet. But, I mean, if Jenkins pushes Impact out here, now it's where it really hurts, because no one has TP, right? So that is where you start to create the big advantages, where especially if you're playing Demolish, Trial by Fire, you get the Sheen in there eventually, GP can really start to threaten those towers pretty effectively. So Impact has to be careful. I mean, there's so much riding on these little mini games where you're playing for barrels. If you mess that up, not only do you take the barrel damage, but he also gets the passive reset for the Trial by Fire auto, which is a lot of true damage coming through.
And you're so slow, you can't get away from it.
Exactly. He gets the speed up. Can be difficult. Jensen, though, in some trouble potentially.
Jensen has to flash away. Svenskeren wants to go in after him, but that's Viego, man. He can still use the ulti. Svenskeren, that was not it. Team Liquid gets the first blood.
Svenskeren went way too far. They really wanted that kill, but as you said, Viego ults out. Santorin, right place, right time. The thumbs up always gets me. It's like
so casual.
It's just hard to beat the thumbs up.
Yeah, the casual BM. That's the one you don't even have to pay any RP to get. Everybody comes with thumbs up as soon as you make the account. You're ready to go. Just showing them the classic BM.
Yeah, you'd love to see it, but not if you are on the EG side.
No.
They commit the flash. They do trade flashes, but it's just too far. I mean, Svenskaren's going into the tower here. Viego can create so much distance. He didn't have his little shroud, so I think that's why they went for the play. Svenskeren flashes in, but I mean, oh my god. The equalizer from Santorin was perfect, and now on top side.
Jenkins in some trouble. His world is about to end if he's not careful. Impact going for the kill here, but Jenkins with the flash away is able to stay alive only for a moment. Jensen coming in looking to fight him, but uh-oh! This is not a fight you're going to win here either, my friend. Impact casually getting himself a kill and then fighting off the reinforcements.
Top 9, rack him up. Impact grabbing a solo kill there onto Jenkins, and Svenskeren threading the wraparound here. Jensen now has no flash, no ulti, but Santorin, he does have one of those. He has a Santorin.
Yes, he's got a pocket rumble ready to go.
No, again.
Svenskaren's coming in. He makes the play right as the equalizer comes down. I've seen this episode before, Azael, and it goes the exact same way as last time.
Download complete. Santorin is in Svenskeren's head. He knows where he's going to be. 2 times in a row, Svenskeren looking for the aggressive play. And Santorin is there with the equalizer, with the easy answer. You got no flash. You got no chance of getting out of that. And this is Zhao that wants to get ahead, that wants to be playing with a lot of aggression, a lot of pace, is falling further and further behind. Impact here moving forward, lands double knock up there.
Holy moly.
And then the Q3 comes through, and he's just straight up chasing him down. Jensen comes with a TP, but it looked like he was trying to complete his base and buy before the TP would come through. And it just did not work out. Then Svenskeren, he wants the wraparound. He knows he's missing summoners. He knows he's missing the ulti. But with Santorin there, the punish comes through again. And Svenskeren has not gotten a scuttle, I think, maybe this entire game. Or maybe he got one on the top side, but it's been pretty much 4 or 5 in a row for Santorin. He got the double scuttle to start. He got the third scuttle to follow that. Yeah. Now going to be taking another dragon. I mean, look at this gold lead in the jungle.
And especially in this day and age of League of Legends where the meta junglers have such incredible clear speeds, when Xin falls behind, it feels even worse, right? When you compare Xin clearing out a camp to Rumble clearing out a camp, I'm going to give Rumble that advantage most situations, right?
Absolutely.
So it's even harder to claw your way back into the game here for Svenskeren, who is down now, what is that, 24 CS? 6 jungle camps worth of farm.
And 2 kills, right? So that just kind of bad goes to worse there. As you say, a lot of these really powerful farming junglers, your fallback is just like, all right, first gank didn't work, I guess I'll full clear for the next 20 minutes.
Yep.
Xin just doesn't do that as well.
No.
And you also don't scale as well as a lot of the other meta junglers. So it's difficult if you're not getting ahead, but back up towards this top side, Impact looking to scrap, feeling confident after he did get that first kill.
Oh yeah, of course. And I mean, that's the old joke about Xin Zhao is that by the time the game finishes loading, you're already being outscaled, right? Like, it's not as bad as it used to be back in the day after they buffed him with the Wind Becomes Lightning and Audacious Charge thing, but it's still not a great situation to be in, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're at 20 minutes and you have no kills, it's Wind Becomes Gray Screen.
Yeah, you're not feeling
it's
great.
It's a different spell. It's a whole different thing. It's weird that they have it like that.
Yeah, you would never imagine they would have a champion who just, depending on the state of his kills, changes his kit.
You wouldn't think they would do it, but it's creativity. I like it.
Right. August is probably out there watching this somewhere. He likes creativity and champ designs. There you go, August. Just make a champion that changes depending on how many kills it gets. Easy peasy. You can give it a 3-hit passive that becomes a 4-hit passive. Nothing
if
to
you're
it.
too far behind, it's a 2-hit passive. Oh. You got a chance to come back. It's sounding pretty nice.
If you hit your O10 power spike, it's a 1-hit passive. They're just rewarding you. Okay, dude. If
every
you can
Yasuo player is going to be on this champ.
If you can click the guy, I'll reward you. Just click him.
You clearly need help. You're embarrassing yourself out there. All right.
Oh, man. We got the Rift Herald here in bottom lane, summoned up by TL, looking to take this lead even further. There's only 45 seconds left on the plate, so they wanted to make sure that they get that free plate money here. Guaranteed to grab at least 2 of those. Shelly will charge on in. There it goes. Money over to Tactical, but it's Ignar with a flash engage on the Team Liquid AD carry, looking to run him down. Tactical gets away, has to use his own heal plus ulti, but saves the flash and still stays alive.
Yeah, not that bad of a trade whatsoever for Tactical. Heal and ulti for the flash and the ignite. We haven't really talked about bot lane much because it's not really been the story of the game. It's been more about the jungle action that has been going down here.
Yeah.
But EG's bottom lane is just kind of passively losing. They're falling a little bit behind over and over. They've lost plates. Now the Herald gets dropped, so they're down to 2 plates there. You can see that Tactical has created a nice little advantage for himself. When you're looking at the EG side, it's more about the solo laners. They're pretty comparable. There's parity there. Santorin really has a big edge, and the bot lane is creating a pretty sizable one as well.
Okay, Jizuke here still 0-0-0 on the Akali, has the Rift Maker ready to go. You can see that the mythic item also completed for Jensen's Viego here. Does want to go for that more defensive option in the Immortal Shield Bow.
Yep.
So I really like seeing this on Viego. I think it's a great choice, especially in competitive play where you are going to be focused more heavily by the entire team, where that extra shield could be the difference between your reset and not. But everything else pretty standard here. Ezreal's got the Divine Sunderer. Gore Drinker just now completed for Spin Scarin as well. So extra survivability and power in those team fights for this champion that is behind will be incredibly important as Santorin continues to keep the pace of the farm nice and high, clearing out these. One more camp and he'll be level 11. Team Liquid already has the first 2 Drakes of the game. The next one is spawning in 90 seconds. Santorin will have that level 2 equalizer ready to go. Jizuke looking for a potential pick onto Core JJ here. He throws down the Solar Flare. Core JJ with the flash over the wall, trying to get away from the Akali, and he will succeed in doing so. But Jensen now finds himself in a less than ideal situation. Does he manage to bamboozle this? They'll probably have to ult over the wall. Yeah, okay, yep. He gets away. I thought for a second he might be able to hide in the smoke long enough. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Since he can't dash over that wall, you'd have to kind of be trolling to get bamboozled by that.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
All right.
Okay. Well, he doesn't get away with it, so we're fine. We're fine. Jensen ends up having to expend the ulti there, so Evil Geniuses are happy that Viego will not have that immediately ready. But the mid lane tier 1 turret is under a little bit of pressure here. Tactical's already ready to answer. EG roaming around as a 3-man squad with bot laners and jungler here, clearing out some vision, but not much else they can do. Team Liquid has enough bodies nearby to respond if they try to start up a Rift Herald or something.
Yeah, I mean, Santorin is just insanely ahead. The fact that he hit level 11, he has been power farming, right? He's got more CS than some of the solo laners, right?
Yeah.
He's actually ahead of his own solo laner. And when you show up to this 3rd dragon with level 2 on that ultimate, and he does have the stopwatch, you said it, Marie. A good equalizer can do so much work. That's true.
And there's no Silas to steal it and use it for the other team this time, right?
Yep.
Just one equalizer that could be coming
Never
through.
a fair fight.
Evil Geniuses, though, they've got all 5 players up here in this top half river. They're the ones who ended up having the first Rift Herald charging after them, and they will be using the second Rift Herald here against Team Liquid in just a moment, as Jensen will get the first turret of the game here in the bottom lane. So Team Liquid making the trade there. A Rift Herald could be anything, even a turret, but Team Liquid just goes straight for the turret instead. Cut out the middleman. Jizuke buying himself a little bit of time here with a TP coming out. The Rift Herald has been used in the top lane. They wanted to make the dive. Jenkins knew that something was wrong. He goes into the brush. He teleports away and survives it.
I do like this choice, though, from EG. This is kind of something that I talked about last game, where you've got to commit to one thing or the other. You either go to the Dragon, you get there early, you set up vision, you fight for it, or don't bother coming at all. Get something elsewhere. Try to get a little bit of gold back. TL is running away with this one, but at the very least, you got a tower on top side, get a little bit of gold in your pockets, try to scrape your way back in. But this does feel like another day of, despite the kill leads being pretty close, I mean, it's 2-1, right? It's not a super action-packed game. We saw TL, very, very close. I think it was against Dignitas yesterday, I believe, where the kills are really even, but the game doesn't feel close. And it feels like that again here today. They've gotten 3 straight Dragons. They've had pressure generally in all the lanes, the only exception being the solo kill for Impact up on that top side. And EG's got to be able to make some sort of a move. And every move that they're looking for, it's not that Ignor hasn't been on a lane. They just haven't found anything. The early dives that they looked for, guess what? Santorin read it, and he was there. TL has responded perfectly, and they have just been kind of playing this style where TL is saying, we're not going to do anything because we are going to passively win the game, whether it's through composition or superior laning or whatever. We are just going to respond to your plays, and they're kind of trying to force the hand of their opponents. And 2 days in a row now, it feels like their opponents are just not equal to the task. They're not able to force those plays and create advantages big enough, or even just lane evenly against them in a kind of more stale state. So TL feels like they're running away with it unless EG can stop them at this next one.
And I really like Santorin going for the Oblivion Orb. I really like the Executioner's calling from Jenkins here. The enemy team has 4 healing Mythics, as well as running champions like Xin, Aatrox, and Akali that already got some sustain anyway. So very, very important to cut down on that with the Equalizer, just destroying Impact at the start of the fight. Svenskeren will have to use the ulti to disengage. Jizuke buys enough time with the smoke screen to not be another casualty, but Team Liquid is not done quite yet. Jensen tries to use the stolen Aatrox Qs to set something up, but doesn't quite have the range. Team Liquid with a free pick now in a 5v4 on the map. Coming around from the side. Will we see the turret dive? Doesn't look like they want to commit for that. Instead, just continuing to allow Tactical to put the auto attacks here into the tier 1 turret in the mid lane.
With no ultimates available, I think that would be a bridge too far to try to go for that tower dive, but still, nice uses of the stolen Aatrox. It did force out the flash from Ignor, even though he couldn't actually set up a kill himself. They do get another play, and Impact just got straight up locked down, right? He actually just got CC'd, he got burst out, he couldn't flash, couldn't use the Gore Drinker, couldn't get the ultimate off, really got nothing, and was kind of expecting to be a bit more of that drain tank, but if you can lock down and burst down this Aatrox, it becomes pretty useless pretty fast, and TL just feeling like they are in full control, stifling everything that they want to do. The play starts out with EG looking towards Jensen, but really nice buffer on the ultimate. You see him going for the combo, so he uses the immunity frame, then Impact just coming over, but he just gets straight up locked down, CC'd up by Core JJ. Tactical bursts him out with the Equalizer layered over top. They don't want any chance for him to be able to get in the ultimate, get the passive auto, get all the healing off, pop the Gore Drinker, and try to turn around that fight. So really well played there. TL commit a lot to kill him, but they needed to do so.
Yeah, exactly. Because it might look like overkill at the start. Oh my god, why are you throwing the whole kitchen sink at this guy? Until you see one of those Aatrox Gore Drinker clips that turns into OMG 1v5, Riot, how is this not banned, right? That's what you got to be looking out for. That's what Team Liquid prevented. All 3 TL kills are on Santorin. This Rumble having a great game here this time around. Still having a 1-level lead over his opponent. Of course, Svenskeren has been able to catch up here a little bit, but still down over 30 CS. Still very far behind compared to his opponent here. And considering Santorin hasn't been back to shop since the last time we looked at his inventory, this purchase here should be pretty impactful. Yes, we already got the Seekers working towards that completed Zonias. Sort of like what happened earlier in the day when you were talking about when you're ahead of the curve of the game, you can itemize defensive, you can itemize utility, and remove those comeback conditions, those windows of opportunity for your opponents.
Absolutely. The Fed member is pretty much gets to a position where, when you're this far ahead, they must kill you to really have a reasonable chance of winning the fight. And all of a sudden, Zonius just kind of says, well, you can't do that, right?
Yeah.
You know, so try something else. And then it becomes even more difficult. You're just limiting the options. You're anticipating what your opponent's win conditions are, and you're itemizing to respond to that.
Yeah, you're looking for a window, but all you get's a wall. Not really a great time. So anyway.
Try jumping through one of those. In my experience, it doesn't work that well.
Well, I'm glad that you were at least able
like
to.
The Rock or something.
Yeah, something like that, right? Well, we got 25 seconds, Mr. Razael, and then the Cloud Soul will go over to Team Liquid unless Evil Geniuses is able to stop it. They have not been able to do anything even close to that for the first 3, so the pressure is on. Here is they're down 4,000 gold. Stepping forward a little bit. Nice poke coming out from Jenkins there with a barrel. Team Liquid is split. CoreJJ stepping out of the way here, but now he re-engages. The equalizer comes down. Team Liquid has decided to answer the challenge. They're going in for the fight, but a shutdown's already coming through. Centroid is killed off before he's able to buy himself any extra time. Jizuke into the back line, grabbing an assassination, making the plays, making it happen, but Team Liquid still got 3 alive on the board. 3v3 here. We've lost 2 bodies on both sides. Jungler and AD carry for the side of Team Liquid. Top laner and support for the side of EG.
Oh, those barrels.
EG health bars are hurt. Jenkins with some good barrels, making sure they're staying relevant here in the fight, but Jenkins gonna get jumped on. Jizuke doing the work, baby! It's Jizuke popping off, but Jensen is looking to come back into the game. He will be executed in time, and Evil Geniuses get the Bud Light ace as they outplay Team Liquid.
How did they fight their way out of that? They were at such a disadvantageous position, such low health bars, and what an incredible series of events. This one starts off, look at the sidesteps there from CoreJJ, going in, locking down impact into the equalizer, GP ulti over top. It starts, and it's feeling like it's gonna be very one-sided towards TL, but Jizuke connects the E onto Tactical, finding the Kai'Sa in the backline, then deleting him with the R2. But like, freeze frame, look at the health, no ultis. I'm thinking there's no chance that EG can actually make this play happen. They step forward, the barrel chain connects, and you think you are dead. Flash on the Zenith Blade was absolutely needed. The cooldowns come back up. Svenskeren has actually separated himself. Jizuke is able to go in onto CoreJJ because he has the Shroud, then flashes the Q there coming through from Jensen, hits him with the Shuriken flip.
That was so well done by Jizuke.
I mean, that was insane. This is what I'm talking about.
This is why I said I wanted to see him on Akali. I said, give this man the Akali. He looks his best when he's playing aggressive. Ignore the other part of the sentence that I said during the draft. This is what Jizuke can do when given the tools and the champion to get it done.
And so this is what I ask of people. If you want to criticize when someone plays the edge and fails spectacularly, you also have to credit when they pull it off like that. How many people go in for that play with no health? Most teams just back off, but not Jizuke.
Nope.
He has the mechanics to make it happen. He pulls it off. That was huge. They needed to win that, or that is Soul. If they lose that, they lose Soul, they lose the game.
Okay, flash forward into the Q stun coming out from CoreJJ for the free kill on impact. Now they're charging up the Viego stun here as well, but they will not find that connecting onto anybody. True Shot Barrage flies out. Jenkins here on the flank. We didn't actually comment on it, but it popped up on your screen here at the end of the last fight. Jenkins had over 5,000 damage dealt in the fight. He dominated that fight by a mile. So keep your eyes on him here as this extended engage goes even further. Ignar and Jizuke running back towards the tier 1 turret. A nice bit of damage coming out there. Jensen below half HP. They can't really try to dive an Akali and an Alistar, so instead they'll have to back away as Danny takes the tier 1 in mid.
I mean, that is that Akali E in action. That was 60% or so of his health. You know, just going in with that E, getting the auto out, maybe a Q on top. But AG, they had to win that dragon fight. Some heroics from Jizuke, Svenskeren, as well as Danny to fight out of what looked to be a difficult 3v3. They win that fight. They get that dragon. They have some hope now in this game. You can see Jizuke has his 2 items. He's got the Zonias in there. He's got, you know, his first pieces working on that Oblivion Orb, going towards a Morello potentially. You know, there's quite a bit of healing over on Jensen's side in particular. He's itemized for double lifesteal, the Blade of the Rune King plus the Shield Bow. So you absolutely have to have heal cut if you want to look for the 1v1. But I've got to say, you know, to kind of go off of what you're talking about with how much damage Jenkins did, his team fighting over these last 2 days, he is hitting so many barrel chains in the team fights. He's starting to really impress me. Like, I'm starting to look at this guy as maybe you're actually just like the best GP in the league right now. Like, his laning has been really good. Yes, he got solo killed this game. I'll take that. But he has been team fighting really, really well and consistently overall has had great laning.
well, we're going to need to continue to see good barrels out of him now that this game does feel like it's on much more even footing. Before this, it was exactly like you mentioned. The kills were close, but the game didn't feel the same, right? It seemed like Team Liquid's just going to pick up the soul. They'll probably translate into a Baron afterwards and just sort of walk it in. But after that last fight, after EG surged to life, yeah, it's time to make sure you sit up straight and you're paying attention because EG is here to compete. Now, we've still got about 70 seconds to go until that next Drake spawns. Remember that Evil Geniuses, their situation's not going to change. They have to keep fighting these really, high-risk, low-reward fights. But, oh my goodness, Jizuke's just going to kill him! There's no way out! Maybe Jizuke's got the burst!
Oh my god, I thought he was going to follow the TP with a shuriken flip, which you can do with the second activation.
No.
But why would you do that when you could just kill him right there? Jizuke popping off on the Akali. Jensen dying again here. Not having the best Viego game just yet, and Jizuke really trying to be that X factor to get them into a good position. Because now Jensen will be spawning a couple seconds before the dragon spawns, but he has no TP, so he can't actually join immediately. And EG have a potential of just grabbing another quick dragon with maybe no TL response.
Yep, and by the way, to the person who tweeted on the screen there, how is Akali even legal? Well, remember that it's only illegal if you get caught. When you have a smoke screen, a Zhonya's, and 4 dashes, that's just not going to happen. And Jizuke has been showing that he knows how to navigate the fight with those tools. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on him, honestly, more than anybody else in the game now, not just on EG. I feel like Jizuke is the most important person on Summoner's Rift in the current state of the game.
I agree. He has got to be playing well, and he is playing really well. We'll see if he can maintain that throughout the rest of this game. I mean, that kill gets them the dragon. You know, Heroics at the dragon, they prevent that soul from being taken. Then Jizuke getting that pick off Jensen. The death plus the TP means even when he respawns, he can't TP to the dragon to fight. So TL have no go there again. So back-to-back dragons, delaying that soul. Really, really good stuff. And he's now level 17. He's 2 levels ahead of both of the soul laners on the other side. So he is getting ridiculously strong. And look how much gold he's carrying around. I mean, this could be like a death cap angle. If you hit 2,500, you go back, you buy a couple of large rods, and you start working on your hat.
Yeah. Holy cow, man. This guy is scary right now. Jensen stepping forward, just trying to farm up a little bit. And Jizuke says, nah, you can go hang out by the turret. You can farm here in a little bit. It's my turn. And Jizuke just controlling the state of these side lanes right now. No Drake on the table here for another 4 minutes. It is a long way away. Team Liquid does not have the confidence that they had in the early game. They're at the point now where they can't play that same way after what happened before. And that means that they can't be the ones dictating, all right, we're going to start up Baron now. You have to try to come answer us. Because if they do, it's an easy punish.
The momentum of the game has entirely shifted off of that one dragon fight into the pick on the top side. You know, TL now is sitting around Baron very consistently. They're trying to force EG to check this, to try to turn for a fight, and they are rushing this down. It will die fast with the Kai'Sa.
Okay.
IE is complete, and just now they're seeing it, but that's gone.
Kai'Sa and Viego together will do so much damage to this, and you can see they're not even rotating. As soon as they put down the Scryer's Trinket, they realize it's too late.
Yep. EG just losing focus a little bit about how quickly TL could actually take that down, right? They had been warding it. It's not as though they were paying no attention, but TL consistently going back, sweeping out the vision. They knocked down what they believe to be that last ward, and they just started up. They know there's not a huge amount of risk in starting it up because Viego can kind of just drain tank the Baron with all this lifesteal.
Right.
You're not really at risk. So with Jizuke showing bot side, the worst thing that happens for TL is TP comes through, you back off, right? So that is a good start from them either way, and it ends up being a huge win.
True Shot Barrage flies right between Jensen and Tactical right there. So, oh yes, he is ready to go. He's already got the 8 stacks. Jensen is pretty far up there, but he's getting back now. Ignar coming in on the flank with Tactical being caught out a little bit, but the Equalizer will provide the disengage opportunity. Ignar now in a bad spot, about to be killed off. Jensen's here in the front, likely to be taken down. Impact gets rid of him in time, and they're still looking to disengage. Impact's likely to be the second death. He will fall. Santorum picking up the kill there. Jenkins now continuing to chase away the rest of Evil Geniuses. Jizuke not finding anything here just yet. It is a 1 for 2, and Team Liquid win the fight.
Team Liquid fighting through that one, huge for them, but it was a critical kill onto Jensen because if he didn't die right then, he gets a reset, he survives, maybe the game even ends. So critical kill there from EG. They got to be careful about if they are pushing too far forward because TL has topside control. You can't really walk up
Oh, Tactical just coming out of the invisibility to find Danny. Jizuke lands E1. Is it time for the E2? The equalizer comes out, but the shutdown on the Akali is going to make it worth for TL.
Ah, they can't get out. The madman, you knew he wanted to take it. He saw it, he went for it. He gets the kill at the very least, but they do get a counter kill, and now EG has no carries. They have got to get Impact out here to try to hold on. I think the inhibitor is just dead to rights. You got to give this one up. It's just about defending the Nexus towers at this point. If Jizuke could have got into the Shroud and got his invisibility, that would have been incredible, because then maybe something else could happen from there. But TL quick enough to actually turn on him and kill him off.
Holy moly, man. Let's take another look at how it went down here with Jensen first being very far forward.
Yeah, they go for it. The flash from Jensen was critical to avoid the combo, but Tactical does get tagged. He's got to back it up. In comes Impact. He gets into the ulti. A lot of self-heal tanking here. And this is what I'm talking about. Jensen's trying to get in to kill Ignar and get the reset there, but they burst him out. Then Jizuke coming down. He's looking for this flank angle to try to make something happen, but because the Aatrox has gone down, there's Baron minions in between Danny and the rest of the team. They can't really regroup and make something happen. So it is another fight going the way of TL, and now the Dragon spawning in 30. Baron buff will be expired. But again, EG's got to show up, got to be ready to contest, or you have to be willing to give over that soul.
Two huge purchases for Evil Geniuses. They have Guardian Angel on both of their frontliners here with the Aatrox and the Xin Zhao, meaning they can full send this all the way at this Dragon fight, which honestly you would expect them to probably do. 5,000 gold separates the teams. Scarin will be the one marching forward here first. Impact moving around for a flank angle. The Dragon is about to spawn. Remember, the TL can rush this down very quickly. If EG is not ready to punish, Jenkins is going to get caught. He summons the Cannon Barrage on top of himself, but he's instantly dead. Evil Genius is 5v4 on the map.
Impact, what a flank coming through there. The wraparound. Jenkins didn't see it coming, and EG pulls off the Pedser. They kill him off. 3 Dragons in a row. They defend the Soul. And they are now at Soul Point themselves here. EG with the heroics to hold on in this game.
There's some times where it's time to do or die. And this game, Evil Geniuses is getting it done. Impact knowing those angles, the power of a dude who's been playing this game at this level for so long. Watch him again.
He can smell the gunpowder in that brush. He wraps around, utilizing the move speed there from the Cloud Rift, and they don't give it away either. This is the part I love. You notice how EG went over towards the Pixel Brush in the river as though they're not heading this way? Then, only once Impact is behind him, they all immediately cut up. They collapse onto the GP. There was no warning given. It's easy to blame someone for getting picked like that, but really, they didn't tip their hand.
Yeah, that wasn't 5 separate guys playing a game. That looked like the kind of play with one dude playing StarCraft, putting like all his units in the right spot, doing a bait, controlling the whole thing. The mastermind from Evil Geniuses working together to keep that soul away from Team Liquid. Baron will not be on the map for about another minute. Jensen has a Guardian Angel, so even though he's very far forward, he's not in danger of just being completely exploded. Guardian Angels, honestly, we've got the 1 for Jensen. We've got the 2 over on the side of EG. Obviously, neither one of those expended in the last fight. But I don't believe we have any other big avoidance.
And Jizuke has no TP, and he's still showing top. So that's the critical thing right now, is TL will push forward aggressively, knowing Jizuke cannot join, so EG has to back it up, has got to be careful until they are rejoined with their mid laner here, who sells the Magi's now. He is going for that death cap.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that he goes for the sure thing, right? That means that Jizuke, as soon as he hits that item, will have so much insta-kill power if he didn't already have enough. And it also means that EG has to keep watching exactly like what you were talking about. Any fight without Jizuke is a lost fight.
Absolutely. He is very, very strong. But quietly, Danny is farmed up. Danny's on 4 items, right? You know, he has been pretty much a non-factor throughout this game. You know, they got pushed in the laning phase. He's been fine in the team fights, but it hasn't been about him. But it does get to this point where all of a sudden, you know, you have that game where the scaling champion, you look up and you're like, oh, they're almost full build.
It's end game. Speaking of almost full build, Rabadon's death cap now completed. Jizuke on 4 items plus the shoes and still having an extra spot for the control wards here. As Jensen and the rest of Team Liquid are grouped up, remember how fast this Baron burns. Evil Geniuses, they definitely remember, and they're already ready to answer.
Yeah, trick me once, shame on you, but they're not going to be looking for that to happen a second time here. Jensen
Okay.
The face check, and he can take these fights. I mean, he has so much lifesteal that as long as it's not a committed fight, it doesn't really matter if he gets poked out a little bit there, showcasing some of the burst that he can do onto impact.
Yeah, also with Blade of the Ruined King being his second item against these very health-heavy opponents. Yeah. Yes, they have Guardian Angels now, but that's still Sterex, Gore Drinker, another Ruby Crystal there for impact. So lots of value coming out of that item here. Evil Geniuses, are they looking for their chance? They will manage to get TL to back up a little bit. Danny over the wall, nicely done. That is a lot of poke, and that's the Immortal Shield Bow. Svenskeren wants to keep this going, looking for even more. Core JJ forced to flash out.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Ezreal hits a certain point. He is not scared. 3 or 4 straight Qs there hit onto Jensen, meant he's pushed out of the fight, loses his shield bow proc, so he just says, all right, let's go. Jensen can't fight, we can. Danny throws the ulti over top. They engage on the other 4. They force out the heal from Tactical, the flash from Core JJ, and EG is battling back. The late game has always been the strength for TL, and EG are going right at him, holding on to this game, and somebody's getting soul here in a minute.
Yes, it has been a very long time coming, my friend, but the Dragon Soul will finally rear its head here in 55 seconds. True Shot Barrage, half of Tactical's HP, right there off an Ezreal ulti.
Yeah, and Core JJ, he's down to half as well. He just based because he had gotten poked. Now he gets hit by an ulti, hit by a Q. He is low. We see Ignar looking for the flank here. That could be the juicy angle if they stack up. EG may go for it, but for now, they are playing for prio through mid. They want to play through mid, get the push, clear out some of this vision. Ignar spots the ward, and just will back it up because no reason to risk getting caught. EG are looking for a pick here more than just trying to stand on the dragon and wait for spawn. They know they still have got mid control, so they want to maintain that, and they want to threaten the potential flank. Look at the positioning of Impact. If TL were to overcommit to this mid lane push themselves, Impact can come from above you.
Very scary. 10 seconds. Cloud Soul's about to be on the board. Team Liquid are just threatening to say, okay, take it. Team Liquid are saying, if you want the Cloud Soul, you can have the Cloud Soul. We're going to take the Baron instead. We know how fast they can do it. Tactical's clearing out the vision in the pit already.
You can see Xin is going to solo it. So there's going to leave 4 to defend the Baron. They're sending him, but he's coming back up because they see them start.
Look at how fast it drops just to Santorin and Tactical. Just a few autos from Kai'Sa, stacking up Plasma, grabbing the damage there. Okay, Evil Geniuses, all 5 still ready to go. Svenskeren once again dipping back into that bottom side river. Doesn't head all the way back over to the Drake pit, just trying to juke him out a little bit. There's still that ward here from TL that will see Svenskeren walking directly over top of it. Evil Genius is moving back over to Baron. Baron's already half dead. Jizuke with the ward over the wall into the pit. Svenskeren's ready to go.
Impact's behind them.
Impact. He's spotted by the control ward, meaning he can't complete the flank here just yet. Barrel finds Svenskeren, but honestly, that was not a very impactful barrel here. Just only being able to chip away about 10% of the HP. Evil Geniuses continuing to control the mid lane, control the push, control the wave. Jensen's still on the flank, still looking. Evil Geniuses. It's such a knife's edge right now.
Yeah.
One overextension from one player on either side could be the end of the game. Jensen throwing down the smoke, stepping forward there in that shroud. Team Liquid securing this topside scuttle crab, giving them a little bit of extra unremovable vision around the Baron pit, which can be so valuable in these situations.
I mean, just look at Impact. I love how he plays out in these late game situations. You notice how he's always hunting for a flank. He's trying to find an angle that he can come from a different direction. He is so adept at positioning in these fights, and it's really impressive stuff to see EG moving in. You know, TL has just been relentless about trying to threaten the Baron over and over and over. If it's an earlier game situation, it's easy to do the 1-4 split, have someone take the Dragon as EG, and leave the 4-man squad to defend Baron. But because we are 40 minutes in, the Baron just melts to all these fully built out players, and if you lose a 5v4 and you die, the game just ends. So the risk is very, very high here on either side, and that is why it is becoming this back and forth dance that is so deadly.
Very, very nice interrupt on the barrel chain there from Svenskeren. You mentioned it back during laning. Well, hey, it's still true now, especially with all these items coming online. Evil Geniuses, they're going straight for the soul. They're saying, all right, they're far enough away from the Baron. We're able to get this and then get there in time. Cloud Soul to EG with 4 Cloud breaks. It is so much ultimate CDR. Now that the Baron's taken low, the Baron is going down so fast. Impacts into the back of the pit. He's ready to go. He's ready to try to make it happen, but his Team Liquid grabbing the Baron here for themselves. Ignar on the front line, already using the ulti. A nice stun coming out from CoreJJ. Svenskeren tries to tank. An incredible amount of shielding will keep him alive. The equalizer is still fading away. Jizuke is still on the hunt. He will not connect there with a shuriken flip. Impact continues to tank. The damage pours through. Jizuke's grabbing one, but a nice shutdown comes out. Tactical's the next to fall, and Evil Geniuses are standing in a 4v2. Jenkins tries to stand and fight and hold his ground, but he will not do so. It's Jensen against the world, and the world's looking pretty evil.
Yeah, they've got it. I think the only chance now for Jensen is if he can cut the wave, but the immediate TP from Impact towards mid lane denies the chance of that. He does have the Baron recall. He can try to delay somehow. He's got the GA, but EG are on the march.
It is 35 seconds until Santorin, Tactical, or Jenkins are alive. He will have CoreJJ here in 15, so maybe for a Nexus defense, it'll be a 2 versus 4. Evil Geniuses, they may have lost Jizuke, but the rest of the squad is ready to go. Mid lane inhibitor is down. CoreJJ up in 3 seconds. Minion wave pushed in. Jensen trying to do whatever he can, looking to defend here, but Nexus turret number 1 already going to be taken out. CoreJJ coming in now for the backup. Evil Geniuses continues to push. Danny's the focus. Danny's being forced to run away. CoreJJ continuing to find the damage here with the Evil Geniuses still looking for the Nexus turret, still looking to find the game. Jensen's about to die. Tactical's in with a killer instinct. Evil Geniuses still trying to make their push, but they won't be able to end the game here just yet. Tactical going to be focused down next, running back under the tier 3 turret here in the bottom lane. Danny at 10% HP. Jizuke teleported in, but he's already dead again. Impact will not find the damage needed onto Tactical, and the Evil Geniuses will be forced to run. Everybody's incredibly low. Jenkins is looking to go even further. He wants anything else he's able to find. Evil Geniuses, it looked like a done deal, but they will not end the game just yet.
This game is a banger, Flowers. What a back and forth battle here. EG so close to being able to end the game, but the GA for Jensen, that second life, buying so much time, plus the Baron buff, all those minions contributing a lot of extra damage in this Honda performance play. Let's see it one more time. He's got the Baron buff, he's got the GA, and he's got a dream of keeping this game alive. Look how long it actually takes them to knock him down. So CoreJJ gets out here, the shield bow does proc. Danny has to be forced onto the champions because they're focusing him. He can't actually knock down those towers and just try to focus on ending the game or he'll die to Jensen. Jensen just barely dies in time. Then Tactical with the respawn, the plasma was already applied, so he's right into the backline. Again, there, if Danny and Ignar die, the game likely just ends with TL marching down mid, so it is the narrowest of margins back and forth here. And Jenkins respawning, taking out Jizuke. The really well-timed barrel there to finish him as he comes out of stasis was critical. We are again back to this position.
Holy cow.
Where both teams are so fully loaded, so strong at this point in the game that you could be looking towards Elder, because really one fight ends the game. Both teams have very little base defense left. EG does have their Nexus towers. TL has nothing, so they have got to be so careful.
This is turned into quite a game, Isaac. 44 minutes in, 2 minutes left until the Elder Drake spawns. 3,000 gold separates the teams, but that does not mean a damn thing at this point in time. It's all about execution. It's all about whatever turns into this final fight. Danny will continue looking for some poke here on the Ezreal. He has his own Guardian Angel now. Here in this, you're at the point of the game where when the next fight ends it, Guardian Angel just feels so powerful and so impactful.
And Impact's got one too, so they still have 2 alive. TL had their 1 on Jensen, but that was expended. So, you know, you are looking at it as EG has these extra 2 lives, which could be very, very big as we are approaching this Elder Dragon here in a minute 40.
Yeah, and you can see a Maw of Malmortius for Tactical here on the Kai'Sa, obviously trying to survive against the dive of Jizuke.
Yep.
I don't know if that'll be enough. This is a full build Akali that is just going to be running at you with the full brunt of her entire kit. So Tactical will have to keep himself safe. He will have to find an opportunity to deal a lot of damage here in this upcoming fight. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on the Elder. Ignar is the furthest forward. CoreJJ jumping in with a Zenith Blade. Ignar loses a bit of HP. Team Liquid seeing if there's anything else to find, but now the fight's going to break out in earnest with the TP showing up. CoreJJ is stuck in the front line, but the Cannon Barrage keeps him safe. Equalizer will do the same. Svenskeren having to back out now. Half HP on him, half HP on Ignar. Evil Geniuses want to disengage. Jizuke getting caught. Oh my goodness, if they kill him, that could just be the game right there. Jizuke! That was a huge pick for Team Liquid, taking out the enemy mid laner, now trying to fall back. Danny goes on the rampage. Evil Genius is still ready to fight. Ignores front of the multi-man knockout. TL's zipping out. Team fighting for now. TL picking up everybody so far. The Guardian Angels are procking, but EG ain't stopping. They will bring their jungler back to life. They will bring their AD carry back to life. Jenkins will flash away. It is a 3v3
the Nexus
on the map.
Is open, Flowers.
This is open. Danny is still up. They're still ready to go. The barrel will not find the target. Team Liquid has to try to defend against this. Equalizer's ready to go once more. Danny getting jumped on. Jensen looking for the damage. A little bit more would be required, but a little bit more will not be found just yet. Danny's going to be taken down. Jensen grabbing the kill. In fact, staying alive somehow, but now he's going to die. Imagine what that would look like if Jizuke was there. Team Liquid, hold the line.
What a game! So back and forth. Danny shifting in there cost them so much. In the 3v3, you could play it more patiently, but Danny diving in there does get punished. They had the double GA. They come back alive. It looked like they were going to be able to pull off the push as Impact got into the back line, healing up so much there. And I mean, you want to criticize Jizuke for getting caught, but CoreJJ deserving of a lot of credit in this situation. It's CoreJJ who finds the pick. EG moving in, the equalizer is down, the GP ulti is down, they get the initial pick here, and then Jizuke pressing forward, and it's CoreJJ, zero hesitation, connects the Zenith Blade, flashing over the wall onto the Shuriken flip. That was beautiful from CoreJJ, and he's deserving of so much credit. But then watch Impact into the backline here. Look how much he heals! 1673! That's what he healed for, buying so much time. But because of the respawns, because of the resets, TL now, they win that fight. So they have not only the GA advantage with that coming back up for Jensen, they get the Elder. They can use this to potentially just go grab the Baron. They have got to be worried about any backdoor shenanigans coming through. But really, EG cannot fight right now. They've got to be so careful.
And Pastry said it in the tweet, this game is ridiculous, and I am loving it. Baron and Elder in possession by Team Liquid. This is an incredibly powerful state of the game. We talk about how everybody's full build, you're at the point where it's just execution. These are the buffs that can make the difference. Having that 20% HP execution, Evil Geniuses do not want to fight.
Dragon Lays are pretty strong at this point in the game. It's definitely scary. They are as strong as they are going to get. This is TL's window to try to close the game. If you're EG, hide in the base. You know, just get back there, hide your kids, hide your wife. You're staying inside. You're trying to
hide your inhibitors, hide your Nexus, hide everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Team Liquid's coming.
Nexus is the only thing you should be willing to fight for. It should just be about trimming the wave. You know, spam out those Qs, drop the ulti as soon as it's up, clear the wave as fast as possible. But EG's wave clear is really bad. You know, it's just the Ezreal who doesn't work through these minions very quickly, and it's 4 melee champs. So it's actually really difficult. And you've got to be careful because you want to trim the wave as much as possible so they can't go for the Nexus. But if you step forward too much and TL finds a fight with an engage from CoreJJ, you will lose against Elder.
Danny, even though it looks like that Q has Earth level cooldowns right now, against those Baron minions, it is not enough. The push continues. Team Liquid having taken out the inhibitor here in mid lane, but tier 2 turrets are still standing on both side lanes. So it's not like TL can just quickly turn this into a 3-inhib type of game. They would have to fully reposition their entire squadron. Instead, they want to commit. They want to go for the game end right here. They're saying, this is our best chance. We've got the Elder. They won't have it for too much longer. Those cannon minions putting a little bit of work into the Nexus turrets, but not enough to really end the game so far, and Team Liquid have to back away.
Yeah, EG playing this out well. You don't want to commit to anything. You've got to play it safe, back it up, focus on the minions being cleared out. TL does have side lanes pushing, but you know, they feel like they need to end the game right now, so they weren't willing to play side lane and let the Elder expire. This will be their last shot really at going for it, and they're going!
There's the equalizer, there's the cannon barrage. Evil Geniuses continuing to try to defend. The Nexus turrets are about to die, but somehow both still standing.
Elder's over.
It becomes lightning, the Elder is gone. Evil Geniuses had to use a couple ultis there to mount the defense, but without the extra team fight power, we'll see if Team Liquid reconsider this. They're still in the the enemy base for now. They want to try to take down these Nexus turrets. Tactical knows he just needs a single auto attack onto that left one, and he'll get rid of it. But they have to wait on the minions. They cannot afford some sort of a super jumpy type of mistake. They want to play this out correctly. Santorin continuing to fire off the harpoons for the poke. The equalizer's almost ready to go yet again. Team Liquid maintaining an aggressive posture here forward in the Evil Genius's base. Jensen tries to go for the stun. Impact returning with a couple damage from Q1 and Q2. Evil Geniuses, both of those Nexus turrets
Waves
are so
are
incredibly
here.
low, but the waves are crashing into the side lanes now. Team Liquid rotating multiple bodies down here, looking to make it a 2-inhib game. Evil Geniuses continuing to keep their eyes on the prize here with the Nexus turrets instead. Inhibitor number 2 under a lot of pressure. Down below half HP now with Tactical getting jumped on. This could be exactly what EG need. Equalizer's coming out, but Tactical's going down. That's the pick on the enemy AD carry, and Team Liquid's having a fight now without him available. Core JJ's staying alive. They're still looking to find a little bit of extra damage here, but nobody on Evil Geniuses is dead just yet. Jake is going to be taken low. Jake is going to be taken down. Core JJ, the next one to fall with Jensen looking for the kills here in between the Nexus turrets. He's back very far behind enemy line.
Oh!
He gets yeeted straight into the fountain. Ignore just catapulting him all the way across. And Evil Geniuses 5 for nothing.
Jensen, you're on the wrong side of town, pal. Into the Nexus, he goes down, and it is the march to victory here for EG. No Nexus towers standing for TL. No chance in this game.
Remember that it was Evil Geniuses against FlyQuest where they make that fated bad decision at the enemy Nexus. They end up getting aced. They lose. This time around, oh, just throw down the lights and do a dance, baby. Ignore knows. Evil Geniuses, they played the final push beautifully. They defend and they defeat Team Liquid.
What a game from EG. Damn, that was exciting. Gets the blood pumping back and forth. This game was played on a knife's edge for 50 minutes. TL felt like they were in full control, dictating the pace of this game for so long. And it's all the way back to that first dragon that they challenged, the 4th dragon where TL is gonna get soul. Jizuke with a lot of heroics around that fight, him, Sven as well as Danny in that 3v3, fighting their way out of that fight from such a health deficit, defending the soul 4 straight times. They get the soul themselves, and then that's how the game ends, where TL felt they had to hard commit to ending the game with the Elder, with the Baron. They know it's not going to get any better than that as far as their power in the game.
Right.
They go for the commitment. It doesn't pay off as EG is able to find Tactical, get onto him. You know, Jizuke was into the back line there with Danny, with Impact, finding that Kaisa, taking him out. And that was just such a treat to watch. Like, oh my God, that was a fun game.
And this, it's not just being able to properly navigate this late game situation that you don't honestly play these out so much. It's doing that against TL, against the team that is known for just saying, we'll outscale you. It doesn't matter, we'll beat you at 50 minutes. Not this time. Evil Genius's patience in that final defense, their ability to discern what mattered, especially when that wave started crashing bottom and they had to pick between Inhibitor and Nexus turrets. The patience displayed there was incredible, and without that, that game quickly looks different.
Yeah, I mean, I think they played it really well. There's so many moments that you want to point towards in a 50-minute game that's long like that, but you know, I've got to give so much credit. You know, Jizuke is deserving of criticism when he does have a flop, but also a lot of heroics from him to keep them alive in that
dragon
game.
Fight.
That game was the game I don't think you win with a lot of other mid laners. Like, he went for some crazy stuff and made it work and kept EG alive. And Impact really is just so good at finding the angles. I'm constantly impressed by how he's starting out these fights. Every time TL is posturing on the map to make something happen, feels like Impact is somehow behind them, right? Like, he is always coming from these really creative angles, and that is such a skill that is really underrated, because if you do that poorly, what happens is you just walk into the other team and you die and you lose the game, right? And he is never getting caught off when he's on the flank, and he's also consistently finding those angles to pressure the TL backline and make taking those fights really, really difficult. And that is just so valuable in League of Legends.
And it means so much in those in-game situations where everybody's tunneled. Make sure you don't make a single mistake. Make sure nothing bad happens. Just that little bit, that small element of surprise when you're not expecting Secret Agent Aatrox to jump out of nowhere and surprise you like that. It's the difference maker, man. It is the thing that can really decide the tide of the game. And man, after that first week, after the 0-3 where they had the leads in all the games, Evil Geniuses has to feel good about getting that win yesterday and following it up with this slugfest where they outplay TL for the win on day 2.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a team that's like, they're just fun to watch, right?
Yeah.
Are they the most consistent team? Hell no. But are they going to give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Yeah. And now with that game done, we are joining La Tigris and Jizuke himself on stage for our Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you, Captain Flowers. Banger game, #LiveEvil. So, Jizuke, this game started with some Team Liquid dominance, but it came and swung the other way. Can you just give me that game from your perspective?
Just they have the better jungler early game, like champion-wise, mid, and bot also they have push, so it was easy for them to play, like their draft. But we knew that going to the mid game, we can win every fight. We have good engage with Xin, Aatrox, Akali, Ignar going in with Alistar, and then can just free hit everything. So yeah, we were confident in our 5v5 fight later on.
And we saw that. It was one of those mid-game fights around the Dragon Pit where you were getting a lot of kills. Akali really felt online. How comfortable are you feeling on that pick?
Honestly, well, this game I was not that comfortable because our games don't go 50 minutes in scrim. Like, usually it's 20 minutes, it's a 2 item, maybe 3, you finish the game. I was 4 items, 5 items for the first time, and people are one-shotting me. I don't know where the damage is coming from, but like in my head I was like, I thought they have to be scared of me, but actually I have to be scared of everyone, so it was quite weird. Yeah, like, I don't know, Kaisa was hitting 1k with 1 hit, Bramble was one-shot, I'm like, okay, I guess I have to just stay back. I'm a AD carry, I don't know. I have to stay back.
I imagine it's pretty mentally taxing too, right? Because there was so much of that game where we honestly had no idea who was going to win it. Is there anyone in particular from that mental fortitude perspective that is leading the rest of the team to keep you all focused?
I think we were all talking a lot, but I want to shout out Dan for his performance, because if he died one time, I think game was over. He had to, I think he was the pillar of this game, like the guy that doesn't die and everything. Because I think, well, Ezreal, basically, he was the only one with pressure unless we full fight, right? And he had to take waves and play on his mechanics. So yeah, good job to Dan.
Yeah, there were moments where his strength in that late game really helped keep the rest of the team in it. We have been asking a lot of players their thoughts on Danny, being that he has been making his debut here, but there's nothing like hearing from the teammates themselves. Obviously, you just talked about his in-game performance, but what can you tell us about him as a teammate off the Rift?
Well, we know each other for three weeks now, maybe 1 month, but he's very calm and shy, and he's a good person to play with. And a good teammate.
He's got people like you to start bringing him out of his shell here on the LCS. The thing is, though, this is a tough week that you have in general. Tomorrow, you will be facing off against 100 Thieves, who have been really fired up since Abbedagge has joined them. Thoughts on that mid lane matchup?
I think regardless of the result tomorrow, I think we are improving week by week. I think last week we went from I think winning like 80% of our screens, and we went 0-3, and we just had to play better on stage and like find how we want to play. And this week has felt better, both yesterday and today, even if they were like really long games. But I think tomorrow doesn't really matter the result. Just want to play good League of Legends, and that's it.
The one thing that EG has guaranteed us is full-on entertainment in these matches. Thank you so much, Jizuke.
Thank you.
Alrighty, everyone, that does conclude this matchup. We're going to kick it to a quick break, but on the other side, we will continue to break things down on the State Farm Analyst desk. See you there.